Coming up on Network Africa, a UN-backed report says South Sudan is no longer classified as being in famine following an increase in aid. Barely 24 hours after a peace deal to end years of bloodshed, deadly clashes erupt in the Central African Republic. And the Angolan capital Luanda regains top spot as the world's most expensive city for expatriates. Welcome to the program. I'm Joke Rogers. We begin in South Sudan, which is no longer classified as being in famine following an increase in humanitarian aid. The latest on the country is contained in the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification Report backed by the United Nations. According to the report, 1.7 million people still face emergency levels of hunger, but it's one step below famine. The famine announced in February was the first to be declared anywhere in the world since 2011. Armed conflict, low harvest and soaring food prices have been blamed for this situation. Thousands of people have died and millions have been displaced since fighting erupted in the country more than 3 years ago. And not less than 35 people have been injured in fighting that broke out in the Central African Republic a day after a peace deal was signed to end years of violence. 13 of the country's 14 armed groups, along with representatives from the government, signed Monday's accord in Rome. The deal, brokered by the Roman Catholic San Egidio Peace Group, called for an immediate ceasefire. That has been breached, with clashes erupting between former Seleka members and anti-Balaka fighters in the town of Bria, close to the capital, Bangui. Thousands of people have been killed and a fifth of Central Africans have fled their homes since conflict began in 2013. South Africa's Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba has denied reports which claim that he flouted the Citizenship Act in the manner in which he granted naturalization status to members of the controversial Gupta family. Mr. Gigaba, who is the immediate past Home Affairs Minister, says it's unfortunate the way he is being targeted in the so-called Gupta leaks emails, which implicate a number of political office holders in what has been labeled state capture.
The Minister of Home Affairs on an annual basis deals with not one application for a waiver, but with many. You deal with many decisions, not only waivers. Some of them you approve, some you reject. And because you are the minister, you don't have capacity in your office to assess and evaluate documentation from people applying for whatever forms of documents. These people applied for naturalization in 2008. When someone else was minister of, they obtained their permanent residence in 2008 when someone else was minister of Home Affairs. They obtained their, some of them obtained their naturalization in 2013 when someone else was Minister of Home Affairs. In both instances, it wasn't me. Then the issue is raised that a number of arguments are raised, including that they are highly invested. Secondly, that you grant permanent residence to a father but not the wife. And they ask you to regularize that and correct it. So the application is made. By law, it's directed, because it's an appeal. Law says the appeal is made to the minister to overturn the decision of the Director General. But in practice, the minister refers, once an appeal is made to you, as the minister, you refer it to the DG, and the DG refers it further backward to the staff in the department, to then look at this and assess whether there are grounds, valid grounds for the appeal. When you overturn an appeal, you are not indicting the previous judge. You are saying on the basis of new facts, a new decision must be taken, and in this instance it came from the same department which had made the determination. You haven't bothered to ask how many other such decisions have been made by you in the conduct of your duty, by your predecessors and by your successors. You will be surprised to know that there are many such decisions. And I'm sure that the Department of Home Affairs will give you relevant information.